Hello and welcome to another episode of Melbourne 22. I'm Aaron McCarthy.
And I'm Kate Garrard.
Correct.
And tonight we're going to take a look at mixed martial arts.
We're also going to get another history lesson.
And we take a peek behind the scenes.
And much more coming right up.
Thank you for tuning in to Melbourne 22, and what an exciting show we have for you today.
Do we have a very exciting show?
We do.
We certainly do. Have you ever wanted to fly? I have. Have you ever wanted to soar through the sky like an eagle?
Who wouldn't want to fly?
I can name many people who would want to fly. Superman, he does though.
They
What about
have
being
the superpowers.
invincible?
Invisible?
Invincible, like cannot be harmed. However, I would like to just disappear sometimes.
Like now.
Like right now.
Why are you asking so many weird questions and going on this tangent here?
Well, today's on-the-spot question is all about what your chosen superpower would be if you could have a superpower.
Ah, very good question.
Let's roll the tape.
Wow, that's a good one.
To be able to shoot gold out of my fingertips.
If I had a superpower, it would be to be able to change lives.
Oh, superpower. Probably to be like something like Superman or one of the charm ones.
Basically, if I could have that opportunity to change one life a year and know that it was going to change, I'd do it. It'd be great.
Probably no sleep.
Probably teleportation.
Oh, I think I'd like to make people happy.
How about the reverse time?
Definitely flying. Who doesn't want to, do what a jet can do?
It would be to manifest whatever I want into reality, so that I could literally manifest whatever I needed to suit my situation at the time.
To be able to go back in time 10 minutes to fix all regrets.
What would your superpower be?
I would be self-defense man. I wouldn't help other people, just myself.
Good one.
While most people dream of having superpowers, there are some that can just accept the reality and test their own physical limits. This week, we take a look into the world of self-defense a little bit, I guess, and offense of mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts is the fastest growing sport in the world, and with good reason. Combining the arts of grappling and striking with a range of techniques including punching, kicking, elbows, knees, slams, takedowns and submissions. Martial arts by definition is the art of fighting. It encompasses many different styles and races throughout the world, often dating back thousands of years. While these styles are still effective in the 21st century, a new modern adaptation is beginning to take hold.
It's a martial art unlike any other in the sense that it fuses so many different aspects of fighting and competition.
It's not just a fight, people see it, it's brutal, it's a blood sport, it's this and that. It's not, it's a brotherhood, all these guys in the back, we're all friends and family, and to me fighting is the smallest part of it.
It's a very unique sport in the fact that there's so much openness to it. You can bring whatever you have, your certain discipline to the ring, and you can prosper whatever you have.
Really, it's just about training with friends, having a good time, keeping fit, and learning a skill too, not just going to the gym and pumping out whatever to get buff.
I've been doing it for about 6 years altogether. It's been a part of me since I was a teenager. And I'm glad I made the transition to mixed martial arts.
It's not hectic at all. It can be as full on as you like it to be. If you're coming in and you're doing something fun, it's not like hard work or anything because you want to be here.
I enjoy the fitness, I enjoy the challenge, I enjoy that it's never easy. And well, I suppose mostly is that I like all the guys I train with here.
No one's here to prove anything to anyone else. You're here to help each other learn
there's no hate, there's no anger, there's no egos.
Everybody's friendly. Nobody wants to be there to smash your face.
You can start at any age. I started late, and you can get skills very quickly.
It's one of those things that you either like it or you don't. Some people are abhorred by it, some people like it. If you're into it, come and do it.
Find a passion and follow it, whether it be this or whatever sport you want to do, but keep out of the bad stuff and
Follow your passions, guys.
Wow. You've got to admit that they're some of the most disciplined athletes out there. I mean, multidisciplined athletes, because they're doing so many different types of things. They've got ground game, they've got stand-up offense. It combines so many different things.
It's pretty, I think it's more full on than I thought it was. Like all that wrestling and like, I don't know, would you ever try it? I feel a bit nervous about it now.
I would be terrible at it. I learnt that in school when I had a smart mouth.
Don't want to affect the pretty face, hey?
No, this is an asset right here. No, but honestly though, I think they've got to be one of the most ultimately well-rounded athletes because you've got cardio, strength, agility, all wrapped into one thing.
Fit.
Absolutely.
Super fit. Well, after the break, we're going to talk to two super fit guys, Pharrell Shamer and Dave Hart.
You behave yourself.
Coming up next on Melbourne 22.
Australians purchase organic food for health, environmental and ethical reasons. Organic farmers are concerned with protecting the environment and working in harmony with existing ecosystems.
Eating organic food is not really an option. We have to do it. It's essential for our survival on the planet. We don't want to continue to have all of these chemicals put out into the environment and into our bodies. We have an obligation to do it. We have a civil, environmental, community responsibility to eat organic food.
I recall what food tastes like from growing up in a small country town and growing my own organic vegetables. And then as an adult buying vegetables, they just don't taste the same.
You can buy organic food from some supermarkets, some greengrocers, health food shops, some fresh food markets, the internet and certified organic retailers.
When you're buying produce, fresh produce, there should be some detail about the grower and their certification numbers that you need to look for.
Organic foods are produced by farmers and food producers without using synthetic chemicals.
I think since the 90s onwards, food is just not food anymore.
We spend 5 times more on alcohol than we do on food, 5 times more on holidays than we do on food. We need to reshift or realign our values. Food should be a priority. It's the 3 things that affect our beings is what we think, what we do with our bodies, how we move our bodies, and what we eat. And if you want to live a long time and be happy, you have to attend to all 3 of those things.
Welcome back to Melbourne 22. In the studio today, we have with us Dave Hart, head instructor at Dominance Mixed Martial Arts. Dave, welcome to the show. We've also got Pharrell here as well. Guys, thanks for coming along to the show. How did you first get involved in mixed martial arts, Dave?
I started Taekwondo when I was a kid. Always interested in martial arts movies, all that sort of stuff. And then when I moved from the country to Melbourne, after high school, watched the UFC, which is what most people know as cage fighting, and saw this little skinny Brazilian guy choking people out and wanted to find somewhere to do it.
You wanted to be that skinny Brazilian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now, you're actually a black belt.
Yeah.
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You look nervous.
I know, I was. I saw him like staring at people before. Can you tell people a little bit about how to get into that and what that involves?
Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is predominantly focused on the ground, so it's grappling. If you weren't familiar with it, it just looked like 2 people rolling around the ground.
Yes.
But the main thing it focuses on is positional controls and then trying to choke people or break their joints.
Right, so you can do some serious damage.
Yeah, but when we're actually training and practicing, we don't go all the way through to choking someone to sleep or breaking their joints. We just tap, yep, you got me, and then start again.
You got me, you got me.
You got me, jokes.
Pharrell, what's your history with MMA?
Pretty much done it for about 4 or 5 years now. Mine was accidental. I just spotted one of the DVDs in the video store, and I don't know, just captured by the the fighting and the thrill of it, and then I just wanted to get into it.
How important is moves like submissions in mixed martial arts?
It is very important because all fights, or the majority of the fights, end up going to the ground. So apart from striking whilst on the ground, you would go for submissions and other ways to tap out or submit your opponent. Yeah.
Is this a sport that anyone can get involved in, or is it a certain type of person that should do this sport?
Physical type or an emotional type?
Or either, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously certain people that gravitate towards training. So some people just want to get over whether being bullied when they're a kid and want to feel like they're a little bit more confident and got some skills to handle themselves. Some people are actually just looking for a sport or a hobby that's a little bit more challenging and maybe don't necessarily like team sports. Yeah. But physically, it doesn't really matter. So we get a really big mix of people. Height, weight, just different body types, different ways of moving. The great thing about it is you can actually really make it fit the way that you like to think and move.
And do you have many women that get into this sport?
We do, yeah. Obviously it's predominantly males, but you do get a few women that do both the mixed martial arts and the jiu-jitsu as well.
There's so many different types of martial arts involved. These days, what sort of effect is it having with mixed martial arts on the individual martial arts? Are you noticing a big shift over to everybody taking on MMA now, and is that impacting all of the other types?
Yeah, it is. You get a lot of people that come in wanting to be MMA superstars, and the three main skill sets that are involved in that are striking, so predominantly Muay Thai or kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the ground, and then wrestling, which is what you see in the Olympics, the takedowns. So, for example, a skill set like wrestling that is really, really small in this country has actually got a few more people doing it now because they need to train it for their MMA skill set. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, same thing.
And Pharrell, how do you feel about the fact that sort of cage fighting in Melbourne is still an illegal sport?
Personally, I don't think it's the best decision at the moment. The cage was specifically designed for this sport, so the purpose behind why we're in the ring it still beats me, but I personally think that the cage was designed for the fighters for a reason, for all aspects in that case.
Dave, what do you see as the future of MMA?
It's getting bigger and bigger all the time. The first step will be in Melbourne that the cage does get legalised, and as Pharrell is saying, it really is for the safety of the fighters. And as soon as that ends up passing through, it's going to accelerate really, really quickly. It's gaining popularity all the time. The UFC's run a couple of shows in Sydney. They're really keen to come to Melbourne. It brings something crazy like $10 million of revenue through when it does. So it's getting bigger and bigger all the time. We see more and more people coming through the gym all the time for it. So yeah, it's blowing up.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dave and Pharrell, and best of luck with all your fighting.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Before we head off to a break, let's see who we spend 60 seconds with this week.
Shiatsu is for everybody. There isn't a category or a specific kind of person that it's tailored to. It's for everybody, and everybody should try it at least once. To make a diagnosis and then to apply an effective treatment. We treat the whole person. It's holistic healing. So it takes into account an individual person's entire world. It's about balancing the body and really making people aware of themselves and where they're at and what's going on with their bodies and in their lives. I just love working at something that I believe in. So I don't think it would matter how I did it, just so long as I'm doing it.
Coming up next on Melbourne 22.
Welcome back to Melbourne 22. Now, Kate, do you enjoy being a host?
I do, yeah. It's pretty good. I get to sit next to, handsome young blokes like you, chat about Melbourne.
Oh,
Stop. What
but
about
she
you?
does. Well, I love being a host. This is the second season for me on Melbourne 22. And I mean, a typical day would be, coming in, there's a lot of perks. I'm just going to throw it out there.
You love having your makeup done, don't you? That's your fave.
It's not the makeup thing, but that is nice to feel special sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we come into the green room, we have a chat, we have a pre-production
There's
meeting.
delicious food waiting for us.
I wasn't going to mention that, but you know, I love that they lay some chocolate out on the table. Sometimes it's in nice little patterns, symmetrical. Sometimes there's lollies.
They're very kind, yeah.
But such a professional crew to work with as well, and it's just exciting. It's a great way to wrap up the week every week.
Awesome guests. We get to come in,
Yeah,
chat
you get
to
to
people
meet
about
some really
new different
interesting
things.
people. Yeah. So TV's absolutely fantastic, and what better show to do it on than Melbourne 22? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be behind the scenes of a show like this?
Yes, I have. But maybe they have wondered too. Should we take a peek?
I reckon if you have been wondering, you're about to find out. Let's take a look.
Press the button to super slow zooms. So we're going to be doing one of them.
Ever wondered how much work goes into making Melbourne 22? After months of research, planning, shooting and editing, the team at NMIT arrive early to the set. Some earlier than others. The director and director's assistant are quick to dive into the scripts and program run sheets.
Well, yeah, because the interview is in block 2.
The control room is abuzz with activity. There is always something to do.
We're going to have 2 guests at a time, that's in block 2.
The executive producers are never far away, making sure the production is up to scratch. Then the real fun starts.
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, you sure you're ready?
Or arrives, rather. Once the all-important hosts get here, we figure out our plan of attack for the day.
Not just fine.
It's time to mic up and get ready to make some TV.
I'm Aaron McCarthy.
And I'm Kate Garrard.
Correct. Ready?
When we have another episode in the can, it's the crew's favourite part of the day.
Someone help me, Bill, please.
Packing up the set. At the end of the day, the crew debrief on a job well done and get ready to do it all again, same time next week.
Was that professional?
That was professional ad. That was perfect.
There you go. That's what happens behind the scenes.
All the secrets revealed.
Now people really know what I'm like.
Diva. Anyway.
Princess.
Don't forget you can keep up to date with everything from Melbourne 22 on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages.
Yep, we like you to share the love and we'll share it right back in a strictly professional way. To take us out tonight, we have Centre and the South. They're going to play some amazing music for you. I'm Aaron McCarthy.
And I'm Kate Garrard.
Thanks for watching Melbourne 22. Good night.